Welcome to our very first explainer in a new series we're calling The Pattern You Keep Repeating. And we are kicking things off with a big one, that relationship pattern. You know the one, the frustrating cycle that just seems to follow you around, quietly holding you back. So, what if you could finally break it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into. Okay, let's just dive right in with a question. And I want you to be really honest with yourself here. Think back over your past relationships. Was it actually a series of different people? Or was it kind of the same experience, the same story, just playing out over and over with a different face? That question can be a little uncomfortable, but it's really at the heart of what we're talking about today. These hidden cycles that can keep us feeling so stuck. So let's start by figuring out how to even spot one. What are the signs? Does any of this sound familiar? That feeling at the end of a relationship where you just feel like you always give more? Or how about this one? You keep attracting people who are really into you at first, but then they just pull away. These aren't random coincidences. They are echoes, signals of a much deeper emotional pattern.
And this is why it's so incredibly maddening, right? Because it's so easy to just chalk it up to bad luck or to think, oh, that's just how people are. The pattern is sneaky. It doesn't show up wearing a sign. It just feels normal. It feels like your reality. But what if that reality is built on something that's a little off?
So, if it's not just bad luck, then what is going on? Well, the answer is actually inside your own brain. Let's pull back the curtain a little bit on this powerful and pretty much invisible force that keeps us stuck on repeat, even when it really, really hurts. Okay, this is huge. This gets right to the core of the problem. Because here's the wild part. Your brain isn't wired to look for what's healthy. It's wired to look for what's familiar. Why? Because deep down, your subconscious thinks familiar equals safe. And that's the trap. That's why a genuinely healthy, stable dynamic can actually feel kind of boring, while all the drama and chaos of an unhealthy one feels engaging. And this has a name. It's called the familiarity bias. Honestly, think of it like your emotional thermostat. If you grew up in a house that was always kept at a kind of chilly 60 degrees, and then you walk into a room that's a comfortable 72, it would feel way too hot. Your nervous system literally gets used to a certain emotional temperature, and anything different just feels wrong. So here's how this actually plays out. You meet someone new, they're calm, they're consistent, they text you back. On paper, they are perfect. But for some reason, you just feel bored, or something just feels missing. That's not your heart talking. That's your nervous system scanning for the familiar chaos it's been trained to recognize as love. And when it doesn't find it, it hits the boring alarm and tells you to check out. Okay, so you get it. You've identified your pattern, you understand the why behind it, so that should be enough to fix it, right? Well, not exactly. We're about to tackle one of the biggest myths about breaking these cycles and get into why your logical brain and your emotional gut are so often in a massive tug of war. Does this sound like you? It's that voice in your head going, I know better than this. I see the red flags. I have been down this road before. And yet, you still find yourself taking that first step right back into the same old story. And it's more than just frustrating. It can really make you feel like you're failing yourself. And here is the absolute key. You cannot think your way out of an emotional pattern. It's just not a logic problem. This is a gut-level, automatic emotional reaction. And that means real change doesn't happen just by having a new thought. It happens when you choose a new response, when that old familiar feeling starts to kick in. But wait, there's actually another layer to this whole thing. These patterns, they don't just stick around for no reason. They're actually serving some kind of hidden purpose. I know it sounds crazy, but even the most painful cycles have a secret payoff. So, you have to ask yourself, what is it for you? Does the chase make you feel desired? Does fixing someone make you feel important? What's the hidden reward you're getting from all this? So if we can't think our way out of it, what do we do? It's time to get super practical. Let's talk about the single most powerful tool you have for breaking the cycle, right in the moment that it's actually happening. And it is so much simpler than you think. It's the power of the pause. So here's the playbook. It's a simple 3-step process, but I'm not gonna lie, it's not always easy. First, you just notice the feeling. That knot in your stomach, that little jolt of anxiety, just notice it. Second, and this is the absolute game changer, you pause. You do nothing. You create a tiny bit of space between the feeling and your usual reaction. And it's in that space that you can finally ask a new kind of question. And this is the first question to ask yourself in that pause. It's so powerful. Simply ask, does this feeling, this situation, does this feel familiar or does this feel healthy? Just separating those two ideas can be a total revelation because for so long we've thought they were the same thing. And then here comes the follow-up question. Am I reacting to what this person is doing right here, right now? Or am I actually reacting to a ghost, to my past? This is how you start to snip the wires connecting the present moment to all that old programming. You see, that pause? That's where all the magic happens. That is the exact moment you go from being a passenger, just along for the ride in your own life, to grabbing the steering wheel. It's about shifting your whole perspective, from pattern to power. I want you to really let this next idea sink in. The pattern isn't something that's just happening to you. It's happening through you, through your automatic reactions, your subconscious choices, the things you're drawn to. Now, this isn't about blame, not at all. This is about empowerment. Because if it's happening through you, that means you have the power to change it. And please don't make the mistake of thinking this is only about your love life. Oh no, this pattern, this cycle, it has its tentacles in every single part of your life. It affects how you handle money, the career opportunities you take or pass up, and your own personal growth. It is the invisible script that's shaping your entire life. So as you start to walk down this new path, I want you to remember this. Real growth feels unfamiliar. It's supposed to feel a little awkward, a little uncomfortable. But that feeling isn't a red flag telling you to turn back. It's actually a signpost telling you you're headed in the right direction. It's the feeling of your world getting bigger. So I'll leave you with this final question to think about. Don't try to change everything all at once. That's overwhelming. Just focus on the very next time. The next time that old familiar feeling comes up, what is just one small different response you can choose to make? Because that single choice, that's not just the start of a new pattern. It's the start of a whole new you.